how much shit do we want to talk? Are we what's allowed and what's not allowed today?
I mean, whatever you want to go for.
Okay. I don't know if I have that much on you. You seem to be a pretty nice guy, so.
Yeah, I'm an open book, but yeah, if you want to talk it, I'm here for it.
Okay. Well,
do you want to talk about the first time that we met?
I think we should talk about the first time we met. That's a good starting point.
Oh God, we were like pretty hammered after the race.
No, we weren't hammered. I don't
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, how about you tell this story for the listeners?
Yeah,
how do you remember meeting us for the first time?
POV, yeah.
Okay, that was a great time. So that was the track meet in Austin, Texas. Probably like right around a year ago.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the first meets back. They had the sound running one in December. That was like the first time everyone got back together. This was like everyone kind of getting back together, like post-COVID, kind of still in COVID, but like when competition got back going. And it was there's no spectators, there's only media and runners. So there was just a million media. And but everyone was so close. It was just an absolute party. And everyone's just excited to be back together. So I think I met you guys. You were walking around with the bags full of beers. And you're like, I have a backpack full of beers. And I said, are you bragging or is that an offer? And then I'm like, so let's do a shotgun right now. And then we shotgunned some beers. And then I left my room key there. Oh my key to my house in Tallahassee, metal key. We just I don't know how it just got passed around, set on the ground. I never got that key back. The first time we met each other was doing shotguns. So.
Yeah, that was fun. And at the time we didn't know who you were. And then I don't remember if we like went back and like looked you up or whatever. We're like, holy shit, those guys are really fast.
Yeah,
we like had no idea.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. That was a really fun meet. We tried to maybe sneak a few beers in the porta potties here and there, try to keep it entertaining.
No, it was great. I trained a Farah and I was like, man, one day I'm gonna be fast enough to get on the pod. So that's the goal.
Here you are, yeah.
Here we are.
What is Farah up to?
He's in Flagstaff doing, just getting fit, doing that grind. So
good stuff. So the other awesome thing about Kasey is that you won the Under Armour All Out Mile. Was that manifesting you signing with Under Armour? Like, did you know at the time you were doing that you were going to sign with them?
That's a good question.
Not at all.
Okay, so did you just do it like you're like, I'm gonna just get some prize money? I know all these fools that are racing this are gonna be really slow, so easy money. Is that how you were looking at it?
So I was like back home with my parents, like just finished school, didn't have a job lined up, and I told myself like, man, like I'm not really getting looked at, like I'm not really talking to anyone, like I'm gonna do any race that pays money. I'm just like, I'm gonna make it grind, get the whole like sub elite, pick up any prize money I can. I was like, how many like people in a virtual mile are gonna commit to trying to break 4? So right. I'm like, I can make some money to it. And then it was around that time that Steven started talking to me and like started having some interest for me in this group. And I was like, yo, like, do you think if I or even before that, I called him and I was like, do you think if I like win this Under Armour mile, then like UA will like be interested in me or like notice me or something? Mm-hmm. He's like, I mean, go ahead and run the mile. Don't worry about that. He's like, I'll handle them being interested in you. But yeah, go ahead and run that mile. But I was really thinking, I was like, maybe like UA will want me if I like post some stuff like, hey, All Out Mile. But it worked out. It all worked out. So
how long after, I guess, when did you start having conversations with Under Armour or know that they were interested in you?
It was all so quick. So I think I talked to Steven like maybe a week before I did like the full All Out one. So I'd already like started doing that whole training process and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And from when I talked to Steven the first time, it was like, hey, like, are you interested in the group? Like, are you willing to move out to Flag? And I'm like, yes. Like, hit me up. And then like a couple days later, Pat called me, like talked logistics, and I like packed a car, was there like a week later. Like,
man.
Wow.
Okay. So, but then it actually took a while to officially sign on the dotted line though, right?
Yeah. I mean, I trusted Steven when he's like, can you come out here? Because some of the other guys, he's like, we're bringing on a visit. We'd love to have all you guys together. I'm like, I don't need to visit. I'm committed. I'll just drive up and go. And so it kind of like worked out that we have a visit, and that's when I moved there. And I mean, he just set a place for me to be and like kind of took care of everything. So even though I wasn't like officially signed to Under Armour and like everything wasn't like taken care of, but he's like, yeah, like if you need anything, I can just set it up. And that way I can start training with the team and kind of get folded into his training program and stuff just immediately. And yeah, when all the finalized contracts, all that stuff came through, you know, like it wasn't a problem, but it did take quite a bit of time. I assume that's just how it is.
Yeah. I feel like that's a common thread.
For sure. I mean, at least in that case, worst case, if it fell through, you got to go train in Flagstaff for a little bit and get fitter and whatnot. True. So it's not like a total downside in that situation, but so how long is your contract with Under Armour? Do you sign for like 3 years, 1 year? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So it started the fall of last year. So I had like that quarter. Then I have the next 3 years, so to the next Olympics.
Oh, nice. Okay, nice. Sick. So does that feel good to have that like security?
100%.
Okay, yeah. So what were you thinking then after you graduated? Like, what were your options that you were weighing, or was it always that you were all in on like trying to make it to the next level running?
Yeah, I mean, once I started running, like it was always a goal to get to the highest level. Even when I was like 430 as a freshman in high school, I'll be like, Mom, I'm gonna be a pro runner. And she's like, you should get better grades. But no, I was just like, I knew that I had like an inherent ability to be at the next level. And like things weren't like necessarily clicking when they needed to click. And I didn't have great momentum. But like the nice thing about track and field is like, you know, when I'm 2017, when I'm, 20 years old, I was racing in professional meets with pros all the time. So like I had that experience of like knowing what it takes to be in these races and that kind of stuff. It's not like a different league you go to. So,
yeah,
I mean, once I started like competing against pros, it's like, I never thought like, oh, that was beyond me. I always wanted to be there and I always wanted to get more. So when I finished and there wasn't a ton of opportunities, I'm like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, I'll try to get a job at the running store, try to, save money, get a different, like whatever I can do to kind of get to meets and plan it out. Cause I'm not going to give up on the sport till I know what I've accomplished. I know there's a lot of potential just left on the table.
Yeah. So you said 430 as a freshman in high school. That's pretty, that's moving, man. That is moving. That's yeah. So how fast did you get in high school?
I was 409 and like 903. I wasn't crazy, but I wasn't much of like a.
I feel like
903
is pretty good. What was your cross time? I guess.
I went. So what course do you want to count?
Yeah, right. I was just gonna say. I was like, it's not Illinois.
Yeah.
So if you know California well, I ran 1509 on Woodward's course.
Okay.
Now sounds really slow. But
everything we were just saying, we were like, dude, it's crazy that you can run a 358 in college.
Yeah, you're like a 358 in college, and it's like not like quote unquote good anymore. I guess it's like, I'm not going to make the at nationals meet with a 358. It's just I don't know. That's
crazy,
bonkers. But
just specifically on that course, I ran 1438 on it. As like a 24-year-old man, like in some good fitness, running 100 miles a week. And like, there's like 4 Newberry Park kids just absolutely obliterating that. Like, it's not fair. I just don't want to talk about it.
I don't know. Yeah. These high school kids, the high school kids now are kind of training like they are college or pro runners for the most part. I mean, running a lot of miles, doing all the right stuff.
We're trying to scheme. What's the theory? Why are these kids so fast? Is it something in the water? Is it like?
I don't think it's something in the water.
I don't know.
I think specifically with Newberry Park, like they have 2 sets of brothers, right? That are just genetically great.
Good genes. Yeah.
And then you have that coach who trains them really hard. I remember watching a workout that Nico Young did before he was like trying to break 8 in a 3K. And I was like, I know I'm definitely well under sub 8 shape, and I don't think I could do that workout. Like they do really hard stuff.
Yeah. That's like being in Illinois, York High School is the famed dynasty with Joe Newton for 50 years. But they were always winning state in high school. But it's because
that's because they were running like 120 miles.
Yeah, when you have like 200 kids on the team and you run them all like 90, 100 miles a week, as long as 5 of them don't get hurt, you're going to win state.
Put them in the grinder.
It doesn't mean that they're going to be really good when they're 30 years old at running. They might actually. I don't really know many. Someone's going to fact check us out there. There's someone that was probably really good at York and is still really good in their 25 or 30. But I feel like there aren't that many.
There might be like one.
Maybe one. Yeah. So going to college then, how many like different places did you look at for running? You ended up at Southern Utah first, right?
Yeah. I feel like, like a 409 guy, like now that sounds kind of slow, but in California, that was still like not that fast. And I ran that my senior year, and I ran that like at the state meet final. Like there wasn't a lot. And my sophomore year I ran 414, which is good. And then my junior year ran 415. They're like, he's not that good. Right. So I didn't have like a ton of like great interest, but I definitely like told people that I was like, I'm good. Like I can do this. But I was talking to UP and, Rob Comer, and, I really wanted to go to UP, and that didn't end up working out with how he wanted to sign some people and stuff. And yeah, I get it. Some people are faster. I'm not hurt, but yeah. And I wanted to go to NAU, and Eric Hines I told Eric Hines, I was like, NAU is the only school I want to go to. And he's like, oh, well, I don't really have to offer this kid much then. And then he offered me nothing. And I kind of played myself on that one. So it's like, Southern Utah is kind of like Kirkland brand NAU, It's like
that's so good.
Hey, Kirkland brand is still solid.
I fuck with Kirkland.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's a good way to describe it.
Almost as high, got almost as many trails. Yeah, not quite the same stuff, but it has all the effort. So yeah, and I went to Southern Utah because I was just convinced I was gonna be the next Cam Levins, and then I realized what Cam Levins did, and I was like, I don't know if I want to train like that.
You don't want to run 3 by 10 mile runs every day. That's not your game.
No, Cam's a great guy, and I think I'm definitely a big hero of mine, and always has been.
Yeah.
But I don't want to train like him.
He's built different. Yeah. You could take him in a mile, no doubt. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone has their forte.
Yeah, for sure. I trained with Cam a little bit when he was there, and I got to learn from him and how he kind of operates and how he goes about training and stuff. And yeah, he's as hardworking as it comes, and it's awesome to see. It's like super admirable, but just for my own physiology, it would not work at all. So
how did he get into training like that? Now I'm curious, because like no coach is going to by default say, hey, go run 3 times a day. So like what was that like the relationship with him and his coach? Was he just like, I'm going to start running a lot and see what happens? How did that even come about?
Quoting Cam directly here, he said, I read Once a Runner. And which is a fiction.
Dude, that's a meme right there. Yeah. Reads Once a Runner.
And then he just like, if quoting the book, like, this person can run this ridiculous mile, so can I. And like that mindset's awesome. Just like, nobody's gonna outwork me, nobody can work harder than me. And I think Eric was kind of just watching what he was doing, and like Eric's kind of the same mentality of just like, why not more? Why not be better? And just like, there's no limits, big in the whole, like the only limits in your head and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And as a guy who studied physiology, I kind of clash with that mindset. But I think Cam just started doing like ridiculous volume his redshirt year. And I don't think Eric Cool really cared that much. He was redshirting. Then he came out and just ran sub 4. And I think he went like 2 All-Americans and indoors. And then obviously like had an amazing time. And then after that, Coach Hool was like, this is our training, and we're running 3 runs a day. And I'm like, I'm trying to not do that.
I'm reading about things in class that say we maybe shouldn't do this.
I'm learning this thing called like overtraining, and like, I don't know if we should work out every day this week, but.
So did you actually try that for a while then? Like triple days?
So I don't know if Eric Cool is going to get mad. I'm giving a secret formula away, but he loves to do 4 days of speed or 4 days of effort. So we would go usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, some sort of workout. And that was like it's kind of like a get fit or die trying kind of system.
Right.
Yeah.
And man, it was tough.
It's probably like that. So by the time it's Friday, everyone's too tired to go out on the weekend and drink.
You can't even go party. You just gotta go to sleep.
Realistically, and then it's Utah, so they're not partying anyway.
Right.
But no, it was. It sounds like then I was like, I can't do this. And a lot of people like either got really fit or got hurt off it. And I did develop a ton in that program, so I'm not going to say things didn't work or it wasn't like working for me because I did get a lot faster. But yeah, it was hard because it'd be like 8 mile tempo, 10 by a K, like 5 by 2K, and then 3 mile tempo hill repeats. And he's like 4 energy systems. I was like, we're tempoing every day.
Holy moly. Yeah. That's crazy. Did you find, so I could definitely see like people holding up short term because like overtraining is kind of it's like a long-term enough thing that you don't even realize it's really happening until you're like screwed. You're like in the bone zone. So I could see it kind of working for a bit. As well as like, then when you get to race day, was there a different mindset of like, it doesn't even matter how tired I am going into this race. Like I can run hard every day of the week. I don't know if that is part of the psychology of it.
For sure. I mean, like, I think we were amazing at the conference level because we could just double, triple, like so much. We always did. I don't think I ever really ran besides like a NCAA meet, like just one race. Like it was always a double or, doing something like that. So, I mean, yeah, it was good for that. And you're going to be strong and you're going to be fit. But yeah, I think eventually I did have some problems with burnout with it, but it took some time.
Yeah. So what's your training like now then in comparison? Are you doing less volume, less hard days, or what does it look like?
Sure. Yeah, I think going to Southern Utah and going to Florida State, it's like pretty much exact opposite programs, completely different mindsets, completely different coaching philosophies. I think I've learned a ton from both of them. Mm-hmm. I think I've like mixed it a little bit. And then what I kind of my own personal philosophy and what like Steven thinks is pretty much dead on. So like being at 7,000 feet, I think you get a lot of benefit of time on your feet and running. And like, I think for me personally, if I can back up some 90, 95 mile weeks, even without too much stuff, I'm going to run fast just because of general strength. And then we go Tuesday, Friday workout, Saturday long run. And the long run isn't hard, which I think is a lot better than working out super frequently. Even at Florida State, we went Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which can be quite a bit. So Tuesday, Friday, good sessions. We don't do anything crazy on a long run and then a recovery run on Sunday, which is like, yeah, I would get a little greedy on recovery runs in college. And now he's like, yeah, actually just run 5. Don't double on the bike. Yeah. And that's a recovery run.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit of both, but it's good because when you're at 7,000 feet, there's only so much more you get out of training at a high intensity. So a lot of like just kind of more general fitness stuff. We do a lot of like lactate threshold training with a little sprinkled in some speed. And then we do strides on Monday, Wednesdays and our doubles and stuff. So we hit some different stuff, but like now that we're down in Florida, we're hitting a lot more anaerobic stuff, obviously, because you have the opportunity to. But yeah, I mean, I'm someone who just like nerds out about the sport and the physiology and the training. And I've read V Hill's book and Daniel's book and all this stuff. So I'm really glad that we see eye to eye on all this stuff because yeah, I think it's when you have some responsibility over your training and you know about it, you're going to believe it and it's going to be good. But it's also when you overthink it and like there's some times of writing my own stuff and it's just like when you're doing your own stuff, you don't always like know what you're doing is the best because you're always reading and learning and questioning yourself. So I think it's great that I just like can trust Haas and it's just like, yep, I think that's going to be good and not stressing about it.
Yeah. What was you? So did you transfer to Florida State or did you graduate from Southern Utah and then do a master's at Florida State?
Yeah, I did a grad transfer.
Okay, grad transfer.
It was still kind of a messy transfer. No one like has ever. Yeah, Eric Cool doesn't like people transferring out of his program, but yeah, I was a grad transfer, so I went through the process, and I wasn't actually allowed to transfer, so I had to appeal it, but it worked out, like graduating and getting into a different grad school. So it wasn't too hard, but yeah, I think nowadays people are transferring all the time, and like back then, like that wasn't as common, and a lot of people had like more trouble with it if your coach didn't want you to like go somewhere else, do anything else. But
Especially as I feel like people are doing that pretty frequently as grad students. Like if they have a year left of eligibility.
Go try
Especially
something
with
else.
people having COVID years, because now you can do 2 years of grad school. I swear people, they're going to 3 different colleges now.
Get my
And
7
all the
years.
experiences.
3 by 2 years at 3 different schools.
Yeah, I mean, I can't talk about my kid. I went to college for 6 years, and
hey, might as well. We both say like, why not take the extra years and enjoy college if you can, or like stick around for a master's and just. While you're there.
Well, because once you graduate, it's like it's never the same. Like you can go back and visit, especially like your first year out. You can go back, hang with the boys. But it's still like
it's still different. Yeah. Once you leave, it's just different. You're forever just working for the rest of your life, and that's it.
I was super grateful. I got a second year at Florida State because it's like. I mean, I feel like it's a great school. And I was just like, yeah, it's awesome. But I was only here for 1 year and there's a lot of adjusting to programs, other side of the country and stuff. So like having a second year there and like getting used to the program, and Florida State's just a great college to be at. And they have a lot of super nice facilities and things. And I just felt very fortunate to be there.
I'm sure it was quite the difference in culture coming from Utah.
I mean, just nothing was the same. Everything, culture, weather, team, training, everything was different.
Yeah. Was the transfer mostly because you wanted to go to Florida State for the degree, or was it that you wanted to switch the running up and try something different?
A lot of both. Like I wanted to get into a grad school. I wanted to I wanted to go do something different and get a different education and stuff. And I felt like, I actually really loved my professors at Southern Utah, and we had I was always in their office asking more questions, and I had a great relationship with a lot of my professors there, but I felt like I kind of learned what I could, and like doing another program there, it'd kind of just be a little bit oversaturated, I think. So getting into a new program, learning from some new people. And then, I just kind of wanted to try a different training philosophy, and get a little bit more like proper speed work and a little bit, more anaerobic stuff that we didn't do too much of at Southern Utah.
So what would you say the running didn't work out? Like where would you have gone career wise?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, because I did my undergrad in exercise physiology, and I absolutely loved it, super passionate about it. And I mean, it's kind of a running degree. Like I obviously studied a lot of like endurance physiology and stuff like that. And I was thinking of going something like maybe in a clinical setting, like an exercise physiologist who works in conglomeration with a hospital and does like post like myocardial infarction patients, like that kind of thing. Yeah. Or probably going into like personal training or like something along those lines. And then I did sport management at Florida State, which I felt like, I mean, there's almost no correlation between like physiology and management, like completely different things. But I felt like it does well in being able to market yourself or manage like being your own kind of business. So my goal was like get the management aspect and apply that to having that exercise science background and do something with that together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of was really banking on like being able to run pro.
Yeah.
So,
hey, why not? Might as well go for it. You can always work some other career when you're too old to run fast. Yeah. So you might, when you're in your 20s, you might as well. I would have done the same thing if I was talented enough, or maybe some talent, but also, a little bit, maybe a little harder working too, because I was not running triples. So I just shot myself in the foot to begin with.
Yeah, you did.
What's do the camel training to break through?
That's right. I'm going to start tomorrow. Triples every day, starting tomorrow. Science experiment on myself. We'll see how fast I am in the next fall.
Yeah.
That'd be a good YouTube vlog.
Actually, I don't know if it would be good. It's just me. Here's me running for 3 hours every day.
You speed it up,
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
What has been the more difficult transition between colleges, or like going from training on your own post grad to running now with the group in Flag?
Super different, because when I was transferring, I got in the transfer portal right after NCAAs, and I was 6th of that championship. And it was nice to like feel wanted, people contacting you, like trying to get you on the team. So it was like, super awesome to, have a lot of opportunities and a very exciting time. But I also like had some complications trying to get out of the school. And then so like between when my appeal got approved and when school would start was like 3 weeks. So I didn't have like a ton of time to like nail things. And I was only talking to like 2-3 schools. So it was like kind of stressful and it's super last minute because I knew if I got in the portal earlier, I wouldn't be able to run like NCAAs or anything. So that was kind of stressful in that way. Then like getting the right classes and getting into the programs and stuff was all last minute. It was hard, but it was good because honestly, Brayman's like phenomenal taking care of all that stuff. He's like, don't worry about it. We got this and that. And there's such a refined unit at Florida State. They have people coming in all the time. They have tons of transfers. So going into a program like that, it was like super awesome. And like getting into the school, the school wasn't too hard. So that wasn't hard. But I think post-collegiate, like going to professional running, for me, I didn't have the best like finish to my collegiate career. Like if I had the finish I had in 2019, I think I would have had a lot smoother transition. But that's the fact of the matter. Sometimes you have, bad races. Like everyone has bad races. It sucks when it's like a qualifying round.
When it really means something. Yeah.
Right. So, I didn't have a ton of momentum and it was like super stressful because I didn't have a job lined up. If I didn't work out, I didn't have a plan B. I was like full committed to running professional. And like, that was just a lot of emotion and overwhelming. Like, am I not good enough to keep running pro? Like, do people like, do I reach out to this agent? Like, who do I talk to? And nobody really explains professional running to you. It's such like a small, like tight knit group. And it's like, you either talk to this agent or this agent doesn't talk to you and you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So, it was super stressful in that regard. But as soon as I started talking to Haas and he said like this opportunity opened up, it was super smooth. And it's great. I mean,
in terms of training, like right in between graduating and getting picked up by Steven, like what was your training volume? And as well as just like training with those emotions, how was that?
Yeah, it was tough because it's like, okay, I don't have a coach. I don't have like anyone to train with, no support group. So I was just like, I was in Fresno, it was hot. So I would just like go to the track at like 9-10 p.m. at night, jump the fence to some high school track, hope I'll get kicked off like after their football game on Friday and just like rip like some sub 2-minute 800s, just like kill myself on the track and like finish a great workout. No one cares. My coach, and there's no coach. Just it was tough. Like it was real tough, but I was just like, just like, screw it. I'm training hard. Like, I don't care if I have that support of a coach, agent, team, whatever. Like, I'm going to make sure I run as fast as I can. So my training was all over the place. Like when I ran that all out mile, I had ran a half marathon like 4 days before. Yeah. So it's like, man, I ran $500 in a half marathon to run a 72-minute half marathon. So I'm like,
might as well take it. Yeah. Get your long run in. And
I was like doing mile specific training. Like I was running fast quarters and like hard 600s, hard 800s, but also like 90 miles a week. So like balance out, like got to have the strength. And I'm thankfully like my parents, like, like get your feet on the ground and like do what you can. Like I had a lot of like time to kind of focus on what I was going to do in training and stuff. So I came into the program, like just having run like soloed 4 flat on some high school track. So I was in some pretty good shape, but it was just like, out of desperation, basically. I'm just like, gotta show up some random road race and just do a road mile down. Someone's there that cares. Like that was my whole goal. It's just like get my name on the map, do something crazy. Like
who like during this time, who's like in your corner that you're like talking about your workouts to? Do you have like your little close knit group that keeps you hyped up? How did you stay motivated to pull that mile together and continue training?
Yeah. I'm pretty intrinsically motivated. Like if there's no races and there's nothing, like I'll just like go after some stupid Strava segment, like, cause I'm just super competitive. Like there's nothing keeping me like motivated apart from, I just want to be better. But, my high school coach and I have a super great relationship. We talk all the time still. And, even if it's not like about a coaching thing, just kind of like a mentoring thing. Like we have a wonderful relationship. So I'll call him up and be like, yo, I'm trying to do this stupid workout. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I'll show up to the track in time, you or something like, but it's great. Like we have a great relationship, and he works like a very stressful job, and he's always working. So I always appreciate when we get some time to talk on the phone, but anytime I need to bounce an idea off him, or I think like some training is not working for me, and like, it's honestly like me explaining it and him just being like, yeah, but it's what I need. And we have a great relationship with it. So I always have him for that.
So what's the tie between Ole Miss and Florida State? Like how does that, it seems like it's almost like brother schools or something. Like everyone's like friendly with each other. How did that come about?
Yeah. So I wasn't at Florida State for the longest amount of time, so I don't know all the history and the detail on it. But one of my buddies, shout out Jacob Holmes, he's from New Zealand, so he just stays over Christmas break, and everyone leaves, and he's like, all right, we got this house, we're going to invite all these foreigners, everyone who just wants to train in Tallahassee in 80-degree weather in January. So yeah, when I was there, a lot of the Ole Miss guys came down to train. And that's when I met Everett and like all those guys. And I was like, these guys are senders. So I think Ole Miss and Florida State have that like sender mentality. I don't know. It's just, it's a good connection. But I think them coming down and training there, I think they did that this year too. Like I think they've come down quite a few times. And I think Tallahassee, like, it's not even that much of a secret. Like, it's just probably one of the better places to train in the winter. Like, you have tons of trails, tons of places to do workouts, great facilities, and the weather's perfect. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of people come to Florida to do winter training camps, and yeah, so they just come out for a training camp, then go to recess, and everyone's boys.
Yeah, that's where I met up with Everett and met Jacob and everyone. They had like a big crew down there right when they were starting the Tallahassee training cycle or whatever you would want to call it. So yeah, I don't know, it seems like a very fun group to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it'd be very hard to stay responsible on the training when you have all of those, like all these guys together and living together. But I don't know, maybe they hold each other accountable pretty well and just like pick the right battles or something.
I feel like there's a handful of people in the NCAA that really pride themselves on being able to take 15 beers and doing 15 miles sub 6 the next day, you know?
Right.
Like, they're just like, I'm a tank and I can do it. And I think those are some of those guys. And that's probably not the best training or sustainable at all. But if you tell yourself you're an alpha and you can drink all the beers and all the miles, you do it, and you did it.
Exactly.
I mean, like way back when we were talking to Craig in Arizona like a year ago, he was like, yeah, like my favorite thing was just getting after it with the boys and then waking up early and sweating all the beer out on a long run. I was like, you're an animal.
You can get away with that when you're younger. It gets harder every year that goes by in life. It gets a lot harder, but yeah, I don't know. Some guys can train really well off of that. So
there's something about a long run after having some few beers. I don't know if it's all the carbs you get or you could metabolize the alcohol. Maybe that's probably not true, but I tell myself it's true. And I don't know. I'll be honest here. I've had most of my best long runs after a few beers.
Yeah, absolutely.
It feels better for some reason.
I'm with you.
I've run my longest too after having
longest
beers.
run? Yeah. No, I would say as long as you're sticking to beers. I think maybe the issue comes when you like deviate from beers. But yeah, if you're having a night before and you're just having some beers and then you run, I always feel way better. I think the extra calories just give you some extra go juice.
It sucks until like mile 7, and then I'm like sweated out.
Oh, sweat. Yeah.
Factory reset.
I think that, the problem is when you like mix in a cocktail or a shot or something, or you're still drinking beers at like 2 a.m. and it's still going. Then maybe you pass the point of no return. But
true.
Like you need the sleep for sure. But I think a lot of runners are kind of down on carbs, and you need it, especially before a long run. So you're a broke college student, and natty lights are the way to get carbs, and they're the way to get carbs.
Couldn't agree more, except for not Natty Lights. We'll say with the Busch Lights. The Busch. That's the Iowa beer of choice. From Southern Utah, do you have like any crazy team stories, or like was the team very focused and I don't know, like dry seasons and all of that sort of thing.
Is Mormon the word you're looking for?
Kind of. That's kind of the word I'm looking for. But like I just
was pretty divided on that. So I mean, it was a massive team. Like we had like I just want to say like 38 dudes on the cross country team. Like, massive team. And a lot there's not a lot of scholarships. A lot of them are walk-ons, and there's a lot of people that had never had a beer in your life and no desire to ever have a beer. And then a lot of the people that were recruited onto the program, they're usually the faster people, were not from Utah and were more willing to have a beer. So I don't want to say like anything crazy specifically, but that's definitely like where I started doing beer miles. We did have a little team beer mile every now and then. If I can say that, I probably, So some people on the team, I can't say who.
Some people,
went after some beer miles. But yeah, that's definitely my introduction to doing a beer mile. And it's not easy at altitude, that's for sure.
How many feet is that at for altitude?
58.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's significant. Yeah. So what's your best beer mile time then?
5:27.
Dog, we gotta get you on the.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he's gonna be a recruit at some point.
I need to get a lot better on the drinking on that for sure, because my run splits was 4:07, and only because I closed in like a 55.
Yeah,
like I was just like nursing the last beer, just absolutely nursing it.
Hey, if you can close in a 55 after drinking,
I was gonna say, you have the tools. You just gotta figure out the drinking part for sure. Just don't. Yeah. You're not gonna drown. Just put it down and
I'll put that on a shirt.
Yeah, nice. You're not gonna drown. Just standing there for an extra 20 seconds looking at the beer doesn't make you feel any better. So you might as well just get the damn thing down and get running.
Yeah, true. Plus, you can practice your chugs in season without, like, you can just use water. It's not like you have to get better at running.
Yeah. We're drinking some athletic brewing beers, so we're
going in a second.
So NA beers, another great option for chugging.
True.
Yeah.
Shameless one.
Shameless.
Yeah. No, after I did that 5:27, I did a all-out beer 400 after it, and I ran 60.5, but it was 11 seconds on the chug and 49 on the floor.
Oh my god!
I'm like, I just need to get better at the chugging.
Yeah.
49.
Yeah, definitely.
Italian speed suit, just looking absolutely ridiculous.
There's gotta be footage of that somewhere.
Yeah. I'd love to make a ringer 4x4 team, because the world record for the 4 by I don't know, what would you say, 4 by beer mile 400. 4 by beer 400. There's a team in England that did it, and they ran 3:46. So they averaged 56-ish with the beer, each person with the beer.
Damn.
But they weren't running any faster than you. I think they were like running like 48 to 50 on the 400, but they're just putting the beer down like 6 seconds. So if you and a couple other guys, I mean, USA needs to get that record.
Who's your if you had to pick who would be on your 400 team, who would it be?
It'd have to be someone that could just chug really fast.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like maybe the move is to like get into the sprinter group rather than the distance group.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could really pick any 400, 800, or even 1500 runner that can drink. Yeah, it's basically what you want, because any of them can run 50 or less. Yeah. So and that's really all you need. You just got to be able to drink.
I feel like Everett would be there.
I think he could be. He did pretty well. He chugs one beer really well. He just has to.
He's quick.
Burping is the unlock that he needs to make.
I mean, to be fair, that competition, the chugging competition that I did against him, was just 4 straight with no break, which is a little different than a beer mile. So that, I think he did pretty well.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, he's got some signs of talent.
Did better than I would have.
Oh yeah, for
4
sure,
beers in a row.
Definitely.
Yeah. He didn't finish though. He's still going.
Yeah, that's right.
Time's running. It's on the clock.
That's right. Still nursing number 4.
It's putting them together. I mean, this isn't very good for you, but I've done 4 beers in 34 seconds, that's
pretty good.
Yeah. So wait, why can't you figure it out then with the running? I feel like you're there.
Breathing. It's the timing. It's like you got to run below the throw up threshold. Yeah. It's like lactate threshold and then throw up threshold.
I also feel like you're supposed to. you're supposed, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're way faster, but I feel like I do better when I run 400s the way that you're not supposed to run 400s, where I get out hot and then coast back in.
Get out hot and then that is the way I think. Well, not coast in, but
400s?
when you're racing a 400, I think you're supposed to get out hot and then be smooth for the middle 200 or like
something
the backstretch
for
and then crush.
like at like 150 though.
A little bit of something.
I slow
400s
down.
are positive splits. Like,
I slow down for the
best.
like starting at 100 left.
Yeah, no, I think that's smart.
If you
can run a pretty fast lap, but then the last 50 meters, 60 meters, like try to control your breathing and like slightly slow down, I guess, if that's what you need to do.
I guess more focus on your breathing.
Just more focus on your breathing. Yeah.
Is that the technique? Do you want to come in more aerobic? Like, do you want to get out hard and kind of ease into it?
Yeah, I don't know. I
just think so because
for sure. Yeah, I mean,
the beer 2 mile, and that's just absolute ridiculous. Like 8 beers, 70. I watched that. I was like, this might be one of the better American records. Like, this is insane.
I mean,
well, that means a lot coming from you.
when you finished that, I was like, dude, I don't know if there's like any way you're ever gonna beat that. Like, that's like one of the all time.
I mean, I don't think I'm ever gonna beat it.
It's
insane.
insane.
It was a fluke day, and
fluke day.
It was a fluke day.
What do you think you could have run in like a 1500 that day?
I don't know, 350. I was in pretty good shape, like 355, 350. Pretty good shape for me.
You could have run faster than that.
No, like maybe 350 low. I don't know, probably like a 410 mile
on a fluke day though.
On a fluke day,
yeah.
But you can't have a fluke day in running
purpose.
as much. I can't be like, oh, just today I'm going to drop 15 seconds off my mile.
Maybe.
Whereas beer at the stomach, it's like some days you can chug 4 straight. Some days you can't because of I don't know, the carbonation's messing with you or something. It's just different. Chugging beer is a different sport, you know?
If you could call it a sport.
It's a much different sport. Oh, it's definitely a sport. Look at Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
it's a sport.
True.
It's definitely a sport. Yeah, we really need to get you in on a beer mile. You just drop a few seconds and we'll get you.
Have they decided where next year is yet? Either SF
so
or
the Beer Mile
Toronto?
World Classic for this next year is either going to be in Leuven.
Oh shit!
Or in was it Copenhagen? It's some other country there. Yeah, or city.
There's your motivation, I guess.
There it is, yeah.
Actually, that'd be cool if they had it in the normal European. So like I imagine after Worlds this year outdoor, there's going to be a European track circuit. It'd be cool if they just put it kind of as like in the middle of that.
Yeah.
You know, just throw in the beer mile in like September or something.
Sure.
And then if everyone's over there already, then have everyone jump in. Have a professional like celebrity, like it's like a celebrity match, but beer mile edition.
Sure. Get reps
Were
from.
you guys planning on a beer mile on post 5th Ave?
We were, and then everything's just been weird with like you can't plan anything because of COVID because everything is like, oh, is the race even going to happen or not? And yeah, so I would still be down to do that.
At some point, we're going to do it.
We need to like plan it well in advance to make sure that
there needs to be
is smooth.
Like 3 months out, there needs to be a new variant of COVID, and then by like the second month, we'll be like, oh, we've got this under control, and they'll let us actually have the event.
So you're saying bring in a new variant, have everyone get infected with it like 3 months before.
Yes.
And then we'll know we peaked and came down.
Yes.
Or just have no more variants. Wouldn't that be better?
Dude, I don't live in I'm not a positive guy anymore with COVID. Everything's going to shit. You got to be a pessimist with it.
Just be a pessimist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
so every 3 months, new strain.
Otherwise, you'll get your hopes up for an event, and then it won't happen.
Yeah. Well, fair point. How has that affected your anything? Oh, I guess yeah. In the last few months, probably not. Has that had any effect on like any races that you've been trying to get into or any training on your side?
Like besides getting COVID?
Did you? You did?
I had COVID pretty recently. I had COVID maybe a month ago.
Okay.
But that was my 3rd time having it, so I was like chilling. Like
Dude, you're probably superhuman now.
Vaccinated. Like
yeah.
I had like. I swear I got COVID mid long run. Like I started the long run feeling fine.
How did it come on?
And I'm like, I'm dying.
Oh,
I
no.
think I was supposed to go 16. I got to 14 and I like finished. And I was like cold sweat, like fever, like I have COVID. It just hit like immediately. And then I was like sick for like a couple days and like took a couple days off, back to training, you know, workout by Friday, you know?
That's not bad. So
Damn.
were any of the 3 times bad? Like, was it only not bad this time because one of the other times was worse, or have you always had it pretty mild?
Yeah, I had COVID like right after ACCs in 2020. And that's like before it was like actually like I didn't get tested for COVID, but I like went to the hospital because I had like a fever for like 4 days.
Oh,
and I was like just confused and couldn't do anything. And the doctor was like, you haven't been outside the United States, so we're not going to test you for COVID, but wear this mask. You have flu-like symptoms and you tested negative for the flu. And I'm like, okay, you just don't want a positive test on campus.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that hit hard. Like I had like 10 days, no running, like confused, trying to Uber Eats and just like didn't remember my apartment.
God.
Jeez.
But yeah, after that I was pretty much fine.
Okay.
I think the second time I didn't take a day off from running.
Damn.
Wow.
That's yeah.
I think you get like a COVID bump, like it's like altitude training.
Altitude.
Like body like stress, and then like you get post COVID and you smash a race.
2023 people are going to be like, that's going to be the next boosting where they're like boosting themselves with COVID.
Get that COVID boost.
Yeah.
I've never heard it described as a COVID boost, but sure, we'll go with it.
It's the new altitude training. But yeah, it was actually really bad when I was at Florida State because I tested positive for COVID. And I was like already coming off only having outdoor. Like I didn't have indoor, I didn't have cross. I was just there training, like in pretty good shape, got COVID, ran like 80 miles that week, was fine. Like it was like, we had to get cleared like through the university and my EKG came back different and they refused to clear me. It was like 7-8 weeks of running tests all the time, like doing like stress tests and like MRI with contrast on my heart and stuff. And I'm just like, dude, my EKG looks different than when I came here 2 years ago. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I was still training. I was like not allowed to use facilities. It was like,
oh, that's a pain
I got like
in the ass.
back on the team. Like, I got clear to get back on the team while I was in Mississippi for a race. Like, I just flown out there myself, and they're like, okay, you're cleared. Run the jersey. Your time will count. And I was just like, yeah, it was
That's
super strange.
fucking wild.
That is wild. Dang.
Yeah.
Shit.
It was, yeah, that was definitely a big hang up with COVID, but it's just like a clearance thing. I was like, yo, if I die, I die. Like, just let me race. And they're like, no, you can't work out on the track. You can't use the facilities. I'm just like, I'm working out on a high school track. How is this any better?
Fuck.
It's no different now. But yeah, at the end of it, the doctor was like, yeah, your EKG looks weird. Have an AED when you work out. I'm like, okay.
What does that mean? EKG looks weird. Is like your oxygen low, or I'm dumb.
EKG
Explain it to
is
me.
the electrical signals through your heart. So they can look at it through like 12 different views of your heart, just basically how it's innervated. But
Gotcha.
basically it looked different than the first time. But yeah, I mean, they did the MRIs, they did everything, man. But EKGs are weird. Runners have weird EKGs because they have so much aerobic training and they work at like, because your max stroke volume is at like 120 beats per minute. So you're at your max stroke volume every time you're running. So runners have like really developed hearts just from so much aerobic training. So they have weird EKGs. That's a pretty cool thing. But
so this season then, I'm assuming, is 1,500 what you're going to be aiming for like outdoor season? Is that where you're putting your eggs in, or are you looking at any other distances?
We'll see. I mean, I started like this indoor season with a 5K and I ran 13:24 and they're like, dude, you're going to be a 5K runner. I'm like, don't put that on me. I don't want to run 25 laps again. That was too long. But like just being in Flagstaff, I've just been training a ton of like aerobic stuff. And I feel like my aerobic development's come along really well. And I just raced a 3K. That went pretty well. And now I'm racing a 15. So we're kind of hitting all the events and we'll see. But I don't know. I've been training with Neil Gorley. And that dude just got so much leg speed. Yeah. Like, maybe I need to move up to the 5K. I don't know. I want to say, I mean, last time we talked to Haas, he's like, you'll be a 5K runner eventually, but I think I still have a lot of room to improve in the 15 before I kind of go there. And honestly, I think I'll be the best 1500 meter runner coming at it from a 5K kind of approach where you're overly strong. I feel like speed, at least for me, is kind of just a natural thing. And like when I tap into it, it's there, and I don't need to do too much to get it there. And if I get too much of it, then it like just kind of fatigues me. Like it's like really neurologically fatiguing. So I just like try to get strong and then do some speed work, and hopefully it works out. But the 1500 is such a mix of like, you got to be really fast, but you got to be really fit, but like not that strong, but like really economical, but also fit. Like it
is,
and tactical. And,
tactical. It's crazy that I don't know. I can't even fathom to compete well in a championship race, you have to be on a pretty hot pace and still close in like 50, 51 if you like want a medal. It's like, that's insane. It's like, so you almost have to be an 800 guy, but in order to even get to the point where you're in the race to kick, you have to be like a 5K guy because you got to be strong enough to get there. So it's wild. It's a tough event. I mean, every event is tough. I guess it's not just that. Like every event's so competitive. Like choosing between 5K and 1500 right now is like the number.
That's where every
the number of guys that can run 13 flat plus or minus 10 seconds is just insane. So and I don't know. It's a tough call to make on which one to go with. I don't know.
For sure. I feel like the 5K is easier mentally, even though it's longer, because I get into it and I'm just like, dude, it's fitness. Like you're fit or you're not. And you're just going to get into it and you feel smooth. And like, you're either going to fall apart or you're just going to stay on it. Every 5K I ran, it's like, it's the way it is. You either blow up or you don't, and you're there when it comes. And, but the 15 is so much more stressful because it's like, there's like, you have no opportunity to make a move because you're so close to your red line the whole time. And like, there's so much people moving and like, there's so much tactics to it, and I'm just not good at them. So I just go to the back and everyone's like, you're in dead last, like you're dropped. And I like kick really hard. They're like, oh, you got fifth, but that doesn't matter. Like, it's so tactically challenging. That it's just like the 5K, you can go to last and work your way up and no one judges you like the 15. In the 800, it's like, it's over so quick. Like there's no tactic. It's either like get out as hard as you can. You're not out fast enough. You close better because you're stronger.
Exactly. What did you think of the Millrose Games races, the mile and the 3K?
Yeah, that was awesome. I was actually warming up for a race and like trying to watch him. Like Pat had it on his phone, and I was like, "Oh, what's Wayne gonna do?" And I was like, I was watching him as I was like warming up and doing drills and stuff. So I didn't get like the most insightful information on it, but yeah, it was wild. Like Wayne and Alicia just killed everyone. Like that was so crazy to see. And Jordy, I raced that guy a lot in the Big Sky, and I know exactly what that feels like to get ran right in mine. The amount of Big Sky's titles I thought I was going to get, and then 50 meters to go, he just blew my doors open. So, I mean, it's a little bit different winning Millrose against Cole and Cooper than it is a Big Sky 1500, but yeah, I know what that feels like from those guys. But yeah, he's on a tear. I mean, that guy is an absolute thoroughbred. And honestly, all the on people, like all these,
they're like really proving themselves right now. It's nuts.
I think that's so like fun that you get a new group who is absolutely popping off this year.
And it is a lot of improvement too. It wasn't that they were already at the top. Like they were all like extremely stud talented, but they're like, they took it up another level just within 100%. Like a year. They're a whole nother level higher.
I hope that leads to more pro groups or more brands saying like, you know what, fuck it, like if this group can be successful and compete at a national stage, then like why can't we?
Right.
Yeah, I think that group is just like, obviously they work super hard and Dathan has what they're doing perfectly and it's going great. But I think it's just like, there are a bunch of guys that are just like, from what I'm seeing, like watching the coffee club and stuff, just like seeing those guys and interacting with them. It's just like, they're just happy to be doing what they're doing in such a positive atmosphere. And like, just having those good vibes is like what's going to build each other up. And when you have a group of people that are really talented and want to see everyone else in the group do better and everyone keeps doing better, it's just snowballing. I think a lot of groups are going to look at it and be like, yeah, I think getting the right personalities together, it can be just as important as the right times. And I think that's why they're so successful.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, like you can endure a lot of suffering when you're when you're with like a good squad.
Oh, definitely. And it also seems, I don't know, you get some situations where like pro groups almost seem like they're like competing with one another to some extent, or it's just like very cutthroat and it's like perform or like there's someone else that can replace you or someone else that's better than you. And yeah, On definitely does not have that. It's more building each other up. Like, I don't know, thinking of like Nike Oregon Project where it's so like it's a team, but it's so individualistic. It's like, I'm performing for me, I'm winning my gold medal, and it's not necessarily about the team. It's about maximizing the number of individuals that get gold medals. But yeah,
True.
It's just like it's a different, a little bit different culture for sure. And I think they have a really good culture there.
Yeah.
Damn, now I'm just like pumped about racing and shit.
You're pumped about racing? You don't race. What are you talking about?
Well, about the races coming up.
What do you think between Cole and Cooper going for the 1500 American record, do you think one of them will get it?
Mile.
Sorry. Not 1500. Mile American record. Do you think one of them will get it? And if so, which one?
Oh, yeah. I think, I heard an interview Cole was like, yeah, I'm just in better fitness than last year. And we're in the kind of the same progress. We ran 350 this last year. Yeah, I can see either one of them going for it. Honestly, they're both so like, they don't have really any weakness. I mean, watching Cole this last year was just like a cheat code. Like he's just going 25, no matter what the pace is. It's just like, yeah, the fact when he won USA's, it's like Cinterwoods did everything right. Like there was nothing he could have run differently. Like he did a perfect race. And if it wasn't for Cole just closing ridiculously fast, and there's nothing to do about that. Exactly. So, I mean, when you're on that kind of cheat code, when you just have those wheels, there's not much to do. But I mean, Cooper beat him this last 3K. Obviously, Cooper is so strong and so fit, and he's a good racer. And yeah, Cooper beat him in a 1500 before. So I could see either one of them getting it. I'll say my boy Coop.
Okay.
Underrated.
All right. I like the pick.
I think they could both go under realistically, like 349 too, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. I think so. I'd say I'd put the chances of both of them breaking it at like just under 50%. I would say
that both of them break it.
I'm pretty confident.
You're pretty confident. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess I want to say only a second off, but a second's a long. Like it still is a lot, and it's 349 low. So
yeah,
they're 350. Like they're a second off. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very tough. But yeah, I almost give it to Cooper too, because I think a kick doesn't matter in a time trial race.
Exactly.
Like he's not gonna close in 25 because they're gonna be going for it from the gun. And so, and that, I don't know, Cooper seems to do really well. Like when they ran the 350 or whatever, it's kind of that race setup. He's good at just grinding from the front and just keeping the pace hot the whole time.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. Do you know where and when they're going for it?
They are going for it a week from today in Chicago, actually. So
yeah, are you guys gonna be there?
Yeah. I'm actually not gonna be there because I have a bachelor party.
Chris will be getting drunk. I'll be hopefully getting drunk after Cooper breaks the American record.
Yeah. Or before. We're doing.
Or that works for me.
Yeah. Hopefully, if Cooper breaks it, you need to have a bottle of champagne with you in case they break it, and then you got to get a video of them popping the champaign.
Oh fuck!
That'll be hype. Yeah. That'll be hype. Yeah, because there's not going to be that much media there, like besides Adam and a couple people that we're hopefully recruiting to do it, because it's a college meet, but they're just having Cooper and Cole do this American record attempt as part of it. So, and it's been thrown together kind of last minute, so it's not going to get the hype that it deserves. So you can get the hype. You can get the hype videos.
Bring the champagne, man.
And then when do you break the American record then after that? So if these guys can do it, then you can do it.
Whenever I get a lot faster. I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think about them going for it in a kind of closed off, just those guys, not a big field at BU, not in Milrose, that kind of thing?
I think it's so I was talking to the event director, and they don't quite know if there are going to be collegiate athletes in there or if other they don't have an idea of the
Funny, the race is a week away and they don't even know who the field is.
I mean, basically, because I was talking to the event director. He's like, yeah, we had like a few people that are planning on flying down from Canada. I was like, is fucking like Justin Knight gonna come down and run an indoor mile? Like, what's going on? So
who knows?
I mean, once we get the final heat sheets, I guess we'll see the names. But
yeah. I could see them. Yeah, it is interesting. Like, there's not going to be the same level of hype that there would be at Millrose. But if it is just them and maybe a couple other people in the race, then they don't have to worry about any tactics. It's literally just sit on the rail and turn your head off and
I feel like with a 349, that's like what you have to do.
Yeah,
it would be really impressive for them to race a 349.
Definitely. Can't have too much traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be hard to get a field that's all ready to go 349 too.
Right. Right.
Not only be a couple people anyway.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's do some closing questions. We didn't because we scheduled this last minute. We didn't get any listener questions, unfortunately.
Oh, sad.
And I forgot to put it up on the Instagram too. That was part of it. But so we're gonna have to come up with our own here. So Adam, take it away. You can start off.
I'll start with my favorite.
Your favorite, okay.
If you were a professional at any other sport, what would it be and why?
That's kind of a hard question. I would love to be like a mainstream sport. Like if I could be like top in the country at basketball, like that'd be sick. But like I just have zero like any characteristics to be good at basketball. So like realistically, if I was gonna be pro in their sport, it'd probably be cycling. Like that's where I got my start into. Like I started out racing bikes, and I love riding bikes and that kind of stuff. So if I tried to be pro in anything else, it would be in cycling and try to be like a road cyclist. But apart from that, man, I'd love to be just a point guard for some like NBA
team. Sure. Yeah, the point guard, that would be hype. Yeah, cycling though, if you don't want to do triple days running, cycling, you're like on the bike for like 5 hours a day, 6. I don't know. Like the training for that is insane. Like triathlon and cycling are the two, and swimming, I guess. Those are the sports where I'm like, nah, I don't think I like working out that much myself.
I think a Tour de France cyclist is like the most like metabolically efficient athlete in the world. Like they're just out there 40 hours a week on the, like it's a full-time job on the bike and just training so aerobically all the time. And like, it would be the worst style of training, especially if I was like sub elite and running and like tried to transition to cycling and just like did not have the time to like do it and work a job and that kind of stuff. But
I feel like it's never, or I don't know, but it's, to me, it doesn't seem like a sport that would be super easy to break into as like a non-pro. Like you have to just like know that you're going to be a pro cyclist. Otherwise, like who the fuck is going to spend
it's not a common, I don't know. It probably is a common thing in some pockets, but it's like to get introduced to cycling as a kid, it's like your parents have to have money to buy you a really nice bike. I guess not necessarily. I mean, maybe you just have your Kmart or Walmart like mountain bike and you just go grind for 3 hours a day. But I don't think that's like a sport that any kid really gets into unless they know someone that's in it already.
True.
But so how did you like? So you said you did cycling. How did you get introduced to it?
Yeah, my dad just like got a mountain bike just for like health reasons and got like a really cool mountain bike. And when you're like 7-8-year-old kid, you just want to be like your dad. So I'm just like, I want a mountain bike. And then like, we just go out and ride. And you know how endurance athletes are, like you just don't have friends and you just train all the time. So like, I was just like this 10-year-old kid, like just in the middle of the country, just like doing 50-mile rides on a mountain bike. Just like, I'm probably insane, but I just started and I was like, I want to race. Like, I want to be competitive with it. And so I just went out and did mountain bike races, and there's just not a lot of opportunity, like especially where I'm from and just like in America in general, there's not a lot of like cycling structure like there is with running and stuff. So like, I just started out biking and like I was pretty decent. And then I saw like cross country running. I was like, I do cross country mountain biking, probably similar. And then I was like, it'll be good like cross training for cycling. And then I was just like, there was no races to do cycling, and so I just like started running more. And I was like, yeah, there might be a future in running and mountain biking.
Man, I didn't realize that I was describing you when I was saying a kid when he gets his mountain bike and just goes for 3-hour rides.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel
That's
like as
awesome.
a kid that kind of clicks where biking, you can certainly go farther than running. Like if you're as a kid, what's more fun than like, I don't know, tooling around.
Oh, for sure. And mountain biking is a good intro because it's so we're okay on these long mountain bike rides. So you were doing roads, or were you actually also doing a lot of like technical mountain bike stuff?
I mean, like the races, there was like relatively some stuff in there, but not really. Like a lot of it was just like fire road stuff.
Yeah.
And I live kind of in the country with a lot of fields. So just like down avenues and around and stuff like that. So nothing like actual like mountain biking. It was just like, it was like road biking on a mountain bike. Yeah. It was just what my dad did is what I wanted to do.
Which helps for the fitness. I mean,
it just makes it harder, but yeah. And then like, I did that a lot in college too. Like even when I was a freshman, I got a stress fracture and I was on the bike and I hit like 300-mile weeks on the bike.
Damn.
Yeah. Trying to get fit, just out of desperation. I wasn't that good. I was broken. Like, wasn't like on that much scholarship. I was like, I gotta get good. And I just, put in 50-mile days on the bike, 60-mile days on the bike all the time. And then, like came that cross season, I went from like being no one to being like our top guy. And I'm just like, it kind of out of desperation. But yeah, it was cool too. Cause like, I mean, Utah was a great place to ride. And like, you can go like the next town and you can go ride up to 10,000 feet. And like cycling's great. You just go so many places and and just be out there for so long, have a full meal when you're on the bike. Like you do so much, you can't do running.
That's true. That's very true. All right. My question is, so besides Natty Light, because we know that you love Natty Light now, apparently, have you gotten into the craft beer scene at all in Flagstaff, or like what type of beer would you typically go for?
See, like I try to just to be like an adult that's just like, yes, I'll drink a high-end beer, but only like, I don't know if you guys have been to Flagstaff. There's a place called Dark Sky Brewing, and just like for the namesake of our group, like,
gotta do it.
Like great pizza and a bunch of different beers, but like I'm not a big like IPA, super cool craft beer. Like, I'll drink honestly whatever, but I probably should like be an adult, learn how to drink cool beers and stuff. But I'll just order whatever sounds cool.
Hey, if
it has a nice ring to it, I'm like, that one. Cause they always have fucking 30. And I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Easy decision.
But also if I don't know, I feel like if you're not into the fancy beers, then you don't need to be. Like nothing wrong with just keeping it. Keeping it cheap and just getting a case of beer and just, working on that over time.
Yeah. For the long run,
Totally.
Yeah, a nice Michelob Ultra. It's the Gator to beer,
Ooh, that'd be a good sponsor.
That would be a good sponsor. You can have a lot of Mickey Ultras before a long run and still be all right.
Yeah.
So. Oh yeah, low calorie or great. Biggest recovery drink.
Let's go with some food questions here. What would you say? Let's go post race celebration meal. If it's a good race, what are you having?
Yeah, anything with just like a ton of meat in it. Like the biggest burger you can get. Actually, before my race in BU, like 3 hours before my race, Haas and I were at a cheesecake factory, and I was like double bacon cheeseburger, like the biggest burger ever. And I was just like, no one else is eating this massive burger before a 5K right now, but it's just like, I needed it.
Damn. So the iron stomach, would you say? Like, have you ever had stomach issues running, or are you pretty sound?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I just like, for some reason, like just having like something meaty, like a red meat is just better. Like, I don't know why, but and it's just like, I think you need enough in your stomach, because if you don't eat anything, you're like kind of nauseous. But a nice big burger. Like when I was in high school, it was always Red Robin, get a milkshake and get a burger, and you got the steak fries. Honestly, Red Robin was also my pre-race meal. It's a lot of Red Robin.
Okay. I love Red Robin. I don't think I grew up around one, but the unlimited fries and whatnot, it's just, again, maxing out carbs for the run. Like it's the perfect place to go.
All right. You guys are going to be
a milkshake.
You guys are going to be glad that I stopped, because it was a good question. I was a little nervous because I wrote it down last night.
Okay.
Who would you last longer with, Mike Tyson or Lana Rhoades?
Dang. Oh my goodness. What a great question. You
See,
caught me
I'm
off
glad
guard.
it was a good question.
Yeah.
What? That's so
Yeah.
random.
No hesitation, no doubt, Lana Rhodes. Mike Tyson would beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's kind of my thinking.
But
Yeah.
would Mike Tyson, because he's so high all the time now, would he just like not even
Dude, I
throw
feel-
bows?
it's
He might just.
It's got to be muscle memory though. Like,
I mean, it's just one punch. Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I did like 4 or 5 years of Shotokan karate, and I don't think that's going to help me at all. Like, it's not going to change a damn thing.
true.
So, yeah, Mike Tyson, I would not. I would much prefer Lana Rhodes.
It'd be a better experience.
Yeah, it'd be a lot better experience.
I back myself.
Okay, well then that just made me think of maybe a good closing question for
All
a little banner. So, who would win in a fight? Sam Parsons or Everett Smulders? Who you got in a fight?
Ooh, good banter. All right.
Yeah, that's another no hesitation question. Smulders, buddy, he's got it all day.
Okay.
I don't know Parsons at all. Like, I know nothing about him, but I mean, you saw the watermelon video. He's serious.
I saw it.
He's so serious. Yeah.
That's the thing.
He's
I think Everett would just care so much, like if it actually were to happen, that he would just the amount of adrenaline that he would bring into it would, it allow him to crush. I'd say.
And he's watched enough UFC that he
like
knows what.
Maybe knows a little bit what's going on.
Yeah, if you see something, that's the best way to learn. Watch someone else do something, and then you just mimic what they're doing. Yeah, very true.
That'd be a quick fight.
Well, good. You're backing him up. Okay. I was gonna be worried for you if if you weren't backing him up.
I would pay for the pay-per-view on that one.
I would too. That would be pretty comical.
I would too. Yeah. I still want to see now you're in on this too. So still have to do a beer mile against Everett at some point.
Yeah.
And I think you need in on it as well. Cause
for sure.
You'll crush.
I mean, I was going to say I could like pace this beer mile, but I can't. Yeah, I can't pace you. You're fast.
there's like not even pacing doesn't even really work in a beer mile that much anyway. It's like, cause even if before the race, I was like, all right, I want to run the first lap in, I don't know, 62 or 63. So many times you feel like different on different laps based on what your stomach's feeling, or like maybe the first 100 I like can't run that pace and you're like off ahead of me, but then I finally burp and then I can catch up. So I don't know. It's like an impossible race to pace because it's very I don't know, almost like fartlicky to some extent when you're running it. So
and if you go 6 seconds on the chug and I go 9, it's just like
it's like, what are we doing here?
I caught up to you with like 50 to go. It doesn't help. I think there's some potential.
You need a pacer for the drinking and then a separate pacer for the running.
I don't need a pacer for the drinking. I don't need to look at someone else whooping my ass at a chug. Just got to focus on what I'm doing.
You just need a hype man for the drinking. Just like,
I would, yeah.
Notes for when it's finally warm out and we can go do those.
For sure.
I feel like there's a lot of pro runners that would be pretty good at a beer mile. Just a lot of untapped potential.
Yeah. Who else do you think would be good at this?
Man, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember who all is on our list at this point.
I remember on the podcast with Jenkins and Ingles that
Kasey Jenkins,
dude.
Pretty
Pat Kasey would be pretty good from what we've
I
heard.
keep telling Pat that we should just do a beer mile, and he doesn't back himself. On your pod, Ryan Hill said Pat Casey'd be amazing.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in himself, but
dude.
I back him. I support him. I think he'd be great.
All right, now I figured out our next trip to Flagstaff.
A beer mile at altitude. Well, let's drive down. Let's drive lower. We're not going to do that at altitude.
The conversion to altitude, it's massive. Like it's like 9 seconds in the dome, and a beer mile, it's like 35 seconds.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
And you're like twice as drunk afterwards.
It's a rough time. The breathing is rough. The chugging is rough. We'll put on a Phoenix one.
Yeah. We need to get Pat Kasey on to talk about it.
Yeah, we just got
to talk about it on the podcast.
We'll hype him up.
Should we pull him up right now?
Do it. Yes. Call him up. Let's go.
Is he here? Pat, you here? What's up? We gotta get you on the pod, bro. We gotta get you on the pod. He's in the bathroom.
Oh, yes.
They want you on the pod, bro.
Pat's like taking his
That's some
shit.
great content.
Okay, well, we'll schedule it up with Pat then. We'll let him.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be done shitting in a week or two.
Yeah, he'll be some great content. That's funny. He's gonna make me do like 18 miles tomorrow for that.
See, that's the good thing. Maybe he can tell some. Well, I don't know. Will he be able to tell a bunch of like funny stories from his career, or will he not be? Does he still have to be a little PG since he's coaching now?
I mean, Pat's great. I feel like he does a great job of like being super supportive, but not overdoing his role. Like he's like, this is Haas's role, this is my role. I think he like blends it beautifully of like having a great relationship with us and like being friends, but also like letting you know from his experience what he's done as an athlete and from like his experience like coaching and stuff, like what it's going to be. And I think like he's done like a beautiful job of kind of filling in that role and not trying to over or underdo it or anything else. Like I think it's been brilliant. So
awesome. Cool. We'll make it happen then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now he knows we exist. We just flash us in the.
I told him he should come on, but yeah, he wasn't ready. Wasn't prepared. I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. We might have to put that on the paid for version.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that.
Sure.
Let's do that. To be fair, you flashed it quick enough. Did not see anything. I don't think there's anything inappropriate there. So we'll have to do a freeze frame though and make sure there was no dong or anything showing.
Okay. Yeah, he's head of HR for our team, so it's we got to make sure that was good.
Approved.
Yeah, we might have an HR meeting, him and I, after that one.
Well, we can promise that we will not just take a video of him in the bathroom and put it on Instagram. That's we won't slander him.
Yeah, we'll stoop pretty low, but not that low.
Yeah, that's too low. That's too low to stoop. All right, man. Anything you want to plug or leave our listeners with?
I can't think of any shameless plugs. Here's a Yeti bottle. We got a Yeti connection at Dark Sky. So
that's a good connection to have.
Yeah, we've got like 4 Yetis at this point.
Some bougie bottles. They're the best for a reason. All right, so is that the advice for the listeners? Then grab yourself a Yeti. It's the best water bottle out there. Yeah,
support it 100%. Keeps it cold. Plug our beer mile UA all out mile team.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
squad.
Never forget.
Squad. Never forget. Okay, are we gonna get the awards for that at some point, or how does that work? Did you get yours finally?
I got the prize money, but I didn't get the
prize,
get
the other stuff.
At least you got the prize.
At least you got that. That's the most important thing. Yeah,
that's the important part. Honestly, I get quite a bit of Under Armour gear, so I'm not stressed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like on a shortage of clothing at this point that I'm like desperate, but I have not received it yet. Still, I've not seen it come through. So,
got to take that up with HR.
Ask HR where the Under Armour gift card is, so I can get some.
We'll send out some emails. We'll get it taken care of.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on, Kasey. We'll have to check in with you again at some point after the indoor season and see how things are going, and hopefully meet up with you in Flag. We'll get out there sometime and make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a massive fan of the pod, so I appreciate you guys bringing me on.
Hell yeah. It was a blast.
It's only a good pod because of people like you. So thank you.
I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. All right. Have a great night and enjoy the weekend.